Hello and welcome to the GameDev Outpost. In this video, we're going to continue talking about Niagara and texture samples in Unreal 4. Specifically, we're going to talk about how to kill alpha particles from sample textures. So if you haven't watched the previous videos on texture sampling, I recommend that you go and check them out. I'm using an emitter that I created in the first texture sample video, but basically what's going on here is that I'm creating a grid, spawning particles on it, and then I'm using the sample texture to sample and get information from the grid so that then I can apply this texture through color. And what's happening with the color is I'm applying all of the color from the texture and I'm also applying the alpha from the texture. Now, why is that a bad thing? Now, if we go and take our Niagara system into the world here and we let it play, you can see that there's all of these particles on the outside still spawning. That's what we don't want. We want to lower the particle count. So right now, if we look at our particle count as we let it play, this is something on average about 250,000 particles. And sometimes you can see that it flares up to 500. So that's not good. Now, one way that we can correct this is by coming into our particle spawn, and we want to add a module called kill particles. And at first, it's going to look like there's not too much to do with this, but we can use dynamic inputs with this. So what I want to do is I want to do a comparison. So I'm going to type in if, and we get two options. You can do this either by converting this to a float or to an int. It's up to you. I'm going to do float, and right away we get a comparison based on kill particles. So right now it's saying A is greater than B. So basically if B doesn't match A, kill it. And you can see right now, even though you see numbers popping up there, there's nothing spawning. There's nothing spawning at all. They're just spawning and dying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into B, and I'm actually going to change this to a linear color. This is basically a vector 4. And now what I can do here with the linear color, because we have a sampled texture, we can convert this linear color into the sampled color output. So we're basically sampling this texture in B. And now in the channel that I want the alpha, because in the RGB there's actually color in there, so we may not get what we want. And you can see right now, it's only showing this orange bit. If I change this to green, on compile, may not see anything. Change it to blue, you can see that there's blue showing. So we want alpha because that's just black and white in there. You can see right away, for a second there, it says 200,000, but when we let this play, it's only like 40,000 now. Significantly less amount of particles. And just to verify that, now we can go and take our Niagara system. I already have it out here in the world, and you can see how this edge, this outline, is showing us that the particles are isolated to just this section. So just as a recap, in case some people don't understand, right now we're comparing A and B. And like I said before, if B doesn't equal A, it's going to kill the particles. Now the texture that we're looking at is this texture right here. And now if we just make it so the alpha is the only thing up, black translates to 0, and white translates to 1. Now one last thing that's really nice is, in your particle update, you can still scale your color. So your scale alpha, you can still come in here and you can change this to a curve, and then you can make it fade in, so your particles will be invisible at first, and then somewhere in here, we'll add another key, and we'll set this to 1. So it'll ramp up. So you can see that our particles are fading in and fading out. Cool. So this is one way that you can go about killing your particles. If you guys thought this video was useful and it helped, please let me know by commenting down below and liking the video. Thanks guys.